So last time I saw you all was quite a while ago now. Before the last lockdown, Christmas I think we run it up to, wasn't it? Pipe pit, had a good run of fish from there up to Christmas. Had a little bit of company this winter with Kate, and we sort of pretty much shared the bites in that area. She had a fish that I wouldn't mind catching actually, the long common. The cracking fish must be 3 foot long, like real nice old common, one of the old guard of the lake sort of thing. So. Bear in mind I'm looking at this lake's probably got fish up to mid-30s in it. I've got the head torch, and Kate's passed me that, and I've lit this fish up and thought, bloody hell, that looks good. Sort of rolled it on its side and it's like a linear, and I think, I don't sort of kind of recognise that. I've not seen that and all peats, posts and everything. Showed it to Kate, I said, how big do you reckon that is? She said, well, I don't know, about 37-ish. Well, I don't know if there's fish sort of that big in here, you know, and I think it meant 37 and a half. Well, it's certainly a nice place down here. A little bit of a haven really. Detox, I suppose you could call it. Something like that, away from the mayhem of the big fish scene. You know, there are some decent fish in here, mid to upper 30s, but it's just a nice, pleasant place to come. Like grassy banks, you know, very few anglers. It's like fishing in someone's back garden. And because they're sort of relatively low pressured fish, they behave quite naturally, so it's starting to work them out. Had a few tips off the owner, Pete. You know, he sort of like pointed out a few snags, they're either in one set or the other. There's 3 main areas you look, and if they ain't in them, they're either around the island or in the open water. And 4 sessions in on here now, and they haven't really hit the open water up until, from what I can see, this week. So I'm working it out now. They've been punished, I think, around the snags like through the spring. Now they're starting to get out in the middle of the lake through the night for the morning feed. Now the sun's getting up. I think there's a good chance they're going to end up heading towards the snags like they were when we got here midday yesterday. So starting to see a pattern. It's like anything in carp fishing, the more different lakes you fish, the more you liken them to others, and I'm thinking a bit road lake with this one. You know, they do that morning thing, then they go for the snags for lunchtime, so you've got that chance for an afternoon bite maybe. But yeah, it's a lovely place, you know. Geese and everything mowing the lawn that Pete ain't cut this week. I'm sure he'll have it nice and level soon, like a billiard table, but yeah, it's a nice carp in here. I'm enjoying it over this place. This morning was up 5 o'clock, had a little walk up here, and I had a little sneaking suspicion that they'd been hitting the open water. So I walked up here and stood here for like literally a few seconds. There's a lot of floating like eel grass at the moment, so you think, is that bubbles? Is it not? You sort of wiping sleep from your eyes, and yeah, and then it disappears. You think, well, that was bubbles. You get your eye in, focus on a spot, and yeah, there seems to be a line of fish like fizzing through here. They seem to have a little pick and then they stop. Whether they're probably eating naturals, maybe a bloodworm bed through here that's been left alone all spring while the fish have been around the snags and in the margins, so they're harvesting that by the look of it. I can't imagine it's remnants of anglers' baits from the weekend. I think there might have been an angler in here at the weekend, but I wouldn't have thought he'd put bait on that many different spots, so I'd say they're on naturals. Thought I'd leave them alone because I'm not familiar with the bottom out here yet. And looking at the amount of bird life picking the surface, this fish are digging up something which looks like weeds, so I'll leave this till about midday-ish and probably have a little lead about and then move up here later. We'll see. But yeah, there's plenty of fizzing going on in a lot of different areas out here. So last time I saw you all was quite a while ago now. Before the last lockdown, Christmas I think we run it up to, wasn't it? Pipe pit, had a good run of fish from there up to Christmas, and that run continued off. I think, I don't really watch my own stuff, that we finished off with a repeat capture of a pretty fish around Christmas time. Boxing Day, I believe, or just after Boxing Day, I caught that again. Just over £30, which is a nice £30 mirror. I'd had a couple of different fish, £37 out of the pipe pit. One of them, I'd done the lake record a couple of times, so that's quite a good run up to there. So on from there, carried on pretty much fishing and baiting the same swim that was doing me fish. And I was using that swim for session fishing, open water. And it seemed to be like a 2-night session, pretty much guaranteed 1, maybe 2 fish for a 48-hour session. But I'd also kept a spot going on the shallow area. Like if the sun was out, then fish got on the shallows, didn't matter what time of year it was. So that was good for a day session, wasn't worth doing the nights around there. It was only like 18 inches deep around some snags. So really weather dependent. If it was sunny, I'd just do day sessions, and if it was going to be grotty weather, I'd do the nights in like the chair swim where we've done a bit of filming. So sort of balance that out, and like I say, catch the odd one, like doing the session fishing, but the day session fishing was quite good. Like winter time, you get the bite time down. If it seemed to be from 1 o'clock through to about 2:30 in the afternoon, so you could get there, have a bit of a lay-in the morning, get down there, put the rod out of the old, as Mike said earlier, the hand of God, the baiting pole, just slip it in a little gap in the snags, drop a choddy in there, a van full of pellets. Had a little, bit of company this winter with Kate, and we've sort of pretty much shared the bites in that area, and being a gentleman that I am, always used to let her have the first bite, and well, she got lucky with one of them. I wouldn't say lucky, it was her turn, and she had a fish that I wouldn't mind catching actually, the long common. It's just under £30, weight's immaterial. A cracking fish, must be 3 foot long, like real nice old common, one of the old guard of the lake sort of thing. So. That's proper that is, isn't it?
That's beautiful.
You need to tell Matt I've caught the long common today because he's going to go fucking nuts.
Took long enough to find you over here. I walked all the way around there.
In your face, eh?
I was about to fall over his both. He's not got any
What you got?
Playing with his phone.
Just a long common, you know.
Just a long common. Best common in the lake. Pit one's long common.
Hey?
Pit one's long common, eh?
Yeah.
Very sought after carp, that one.
I'm a lucky girl.
Oh.
I love a tail on it, and it's rounded head. Right, he's kinking a little bit. Put him down, Kate. Put him down. He's kinking a little bit. Look at that peck on it. It's like awesome, isn't it? It's like.
Look at that.
Look at that common, eh?
Bit of a scratch on it.
Still a bit lively, Kate. You're not very good.
Get some water. I've got fish. Well, you'd be better off getting the water because I can't bend down that far.
Lovely
Too
pecks.
fat.
Look at them. Way unbelievable. See why people want to catch this fish.
Oh, mate, it's fucking
stunning.
awesome. Sorry, let me get my hand out of the way, mate.
Just his tail up there.
Spread it, baby.
Look at that muddy tail.
Yeah. Incredible. Get my boots out of the way.
What a fish. There goes the old long common.
Oops.
That was fun.
Bleed that bit
You
out.
happy with that?
More than happy.
Good momentum fishing through the winter, really. Sort of had one swim rocking for the night fishing, session fishing, keep trickling the bait in. It's literally only just dropping handfuls of boilies in and the odd bit of pellet on the day area. I mean, to be honest, because it's a shallow lake, it froze a couple of times, but around the edges, the fringes of the snags, it don't seem to freeze, so you could almost, it's only like 15 yards, you could roll boilies across the ice just to keep that area going through the winter as well, which is quite handy with the ice because it protected the spot from the bird life as well from sort of picking you up. But yeah, we sort of kept that going, through January, through February, and like anyone does who's sort of in there fishing like me, you know that your sort of target waters for the sort of spring and summer is going to start waking up come middle of February, so you start getting itchy feet to move on from the winter water. So
this is.
Watches it pause, eh?
In the view from video camera. Little January carp. Yes.
Frozen solid.
It's frozen solid, isn't it?
When I wasn't fishing on pit 1, I started walking around, you know, where I've been the last couple of years on the big pit in Reading, you know, keeping an eye on it, view to fish it. And my sort of plan was to start fishing it come the end of February, hopefully see some fish, you know, get on it then, hopefully get the head start on most people. But as we all know, we was in a bit of a lockdown situation, so that wasn't really something that wasn't going to be able to do any session fishing, because, you know, I think we was restricted to days only during that lockdown earlier in the year. I can't think of dates and times or anything, but you sort of had to class it as your daily exercise or limited travel and all that business. Yeah, it was either doing the odd days fishing if it was bright sunny on pit 1, maybe nick a bite from the snag. Mostly if the days were bright, it was worth doing a day on the shallows on the pit 1 pike pit, call it what you may. And yeah, it was one particular day, I think it was pretty much the finale of the sort of like our winter campaign. It's coming up to the end of February. It had a couple of mirrors from the night area sort of earlier in the month, but yeah, this day session, just put the rods in as usual off the baiting scoop, dropped a couple of bright ones on choddies, handful of pellet, just enough for a bite really. And yeah, the first rod to go, obviously Kate grabbed that. There's a repeat capture for her of what was a PB fish, 30 pound too. It was a swirly common. That's while that was in the net and we sort of like looking at it, about to decide what to do, the other rod went, so I'll grab that. And there's another common, about 19 pounds. So basically we had one each, and that was really pit 1 wrapped up for the winter really. So we managed to get a little bit of footage of both the fish. I think even a bit of footage of both of us together, like holding a fish each. And yeah, we did a couple more day sessions after that, but nothing happened. But that was sort of like pit 1 for the winter wrapped up, and it's quite nice to sort of finish it with one fish each, both at the same time, you know, like a brace. Good winter. I would imagine between us probably had over 30 fish from the lake. Myself got lucky, done the lake record a couple of times with 2 different fish. One of them I didn't even know was in there, 37.6. Yeah, it's nice sometimes to catch fish that you didn't actually know were about. Very rare these days, you know, you buzz off of that. But yeah, it was a case of time to move on really, sort of get back on the big pit. Had been walking it but hadn't really seen anything, but we were, you know, like I said earlier, was restricted to days only because of government rules, so whereas we'd been doing a lot of walking and not seeing anything, it was a case of, right, what we do is we'd do some day sessions, take the gear along and just see it out in prime swims on the lake. You know, I know the lake quite well and where the fish are likely to show.